Hi, this is TEFL Kevin with another TEFL Tips video. You know, one question that we get here a lot is, do I need a TEFL certification to get a teaching job? And the short answer is no, you don't. The demand for English teachers is so high that someone out there, somewhere, someone will hire you and pay you money to teach. But will it be the best job you can get for your background and qualifications? Again, the answer is probably no, it won't be. Why? Because you haven't demonstrated that you could teach. You know, if you have two candidates and one candidate, both candidates are essentially equal in background and experience, but one candidate has a TEFL and the other doesn't, what do you think the school would hire? Who would you hire in that case? Well, I think you'd probably take the one with the TEFL because at least they've demonstrated they've gone through 120 hours of theory and methodology, and they've done 6 hours of observed teaching practice. So they probably have the foundational skill set to really hit the ground running and be pretty good in the classroom. With the other one, it's an unknown quantity. All purchase decisions involve risk, so you'll shy away from that one. We had one guy from California. He was certified to teach in the high schools in California. And he taught for 15 years overseas. He taught in Turkey, he taught in Korea, he taught in China. But he couldn't get into the better paying jobs in the better schools that he wanted to in Thailand. Why? Because he didn't have a TEFL certification. We'll talk about this in future videos, but in that 6 to 10 seconds that people scan a resume, not read, scan a resume, his resume was getting thrown out because he didn't have a TEFL certification. So this is a really, really important factor. The TEFL certification does help you get the job, but more importantly, it will tell you what to do once you have the job. We had another woman, a young woman who came and trained with us, and her first experience was a volunteer in Cambodia. And they would literally give her the classroom, there are the kids, there's the books, we'll come back in an hour. And she loved the kids, she loved teaching them and all of that. But she ran out of things to do after about 3 months. She literally burned out. That's another problem with teachers who are not properly trained. Unless they have a proper classroom management strategy, they won't know what to do in the classroom and they'll burn out, and eventually they say they can't teach and they'll leave the profession. So keeping the job has two factors. One, you got to stay in the job because you know what you're doing. Or two, someone might point a finger at you and say your teaching standards really aren't up to our school. But once you know what you're doing, everyone else should probably notice too. The school that hires you will notice, the students will notice. If the students notice, their parents probably will hear about it. And that can lead to better promotions down the road, and it could lead to even to better different career assignments like making curriculums, developing curriculums and things of that nature. Again, once you know what you're doing, when you're competent in something, it makes a big difference. It's one of the first levels of satori according to Japanese Zen. So if you know what you're doing, you'll be more successful in the classroom. Anyway, that's enough for this tip. Keep the comments coming, keep the suggestions coming, and we'll love to answer any questions that you have for any future videos. This is TEFL Kev saying bye for now.